Rolex is one of the most popular luxury watch manufacturer in the world. Currently valued at about $10.7 billion, it is quite hard to believe that this giant empire was built by a child who lost his parents at an early age and had no proper connections. Today, Rolex is not only a watch brand but also a symbol of status and luxury. But the real question is, how was all this even possible? So sit back as we embark on a journey through time to uncover the remarkable history of the most iconic luxury watch brand in the world, from its humble beginning to its global prominence. Born in 1881 in Germany, Hans Wilsdorf, Rolex's innovative and mysterious founder, had a childhood filled with love and happiness until he lost both of his parents at the age of 12. He lived with his uncle, who sent him to a boarding school for his studies. Hans didn't like this much, but this helped him to become self-independent. After completing his graduation, Hans went to Switzerland to work in a company called Kuno Cotton. It was a large exporter of pocket watches. This was the time when Hans learned about the construction of watches and closely studied the watch industry. He got really passionate about the art. In 1903, Hans went to London to work for another company. Here he worked as a salesman. There he learned the importance of marketing, what made one company superior than the other, and how creating a successful brand image leads to the growth of a company. After gathering enough skills and knowledge about the art, finally in 1905, at the age of 24, Hans decided to start his own watchmaking company. He had saved up some money, but the majority of the funding came from his brother-in-law, Alfred Davis, who became the co-founder. Together they founded the Wilsdorf and Davis company. They used to import watches from Switzerland and sell them in the UK. At that time, people mostly used pocket watches, and wrist watches were regarded as a jewelry for women. However, Hans felt that wristwatches were much more convenient and said that if they could be constructed properly, then they could probably replace pocket watches in the future. He started working on wristwatches. This was a very risky move, and even his business partner thought that it would not work out, but it actually did. Hans had made various watchmakers to expertise in the craft. He also implemented Swiss mechanisms so that he could make high-quality wristwatches. They then changed the company's name to Rolex, as it was short, elegant, and easy to pronounce in any language. This was the beginning of an illustrious journey. The sale of their wristwatches was increasing rapidly. One of Rolex's earliest achievements came in 1914 when a Rolex watch received the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision, granted by the official watch rating center in Bienne, Switzerland. This was the first time that a wristwatch had received such a prestigious record. This increased the sales even further. The company was growing rapidly, but in 1940, World War II started. The British government had imposed an import duty of 33% on every luxury items. The company had to quickly come up with a solution. So to avoid the conflicts, Rolex transferred their headquarters from London to Geneva in Switzerland. This also brought them closer to the Swiss watch industry. The growth of Rolex was not only because of their watches, but also because of Hans' incredible marketing strategy. In the 1920s, Rolex had been giving their watches to racers, athletes, celebrities, and multiple other successful people. This created a psychological connection between high achievers and Rolex. In 1926, Rolex introduced their groundbreaking innovation, the Rolex Oyster, world's first waterproof wristwatch. The Oyster's hermetically sealed case was a major technological advancement that made it resistant to sand, moisture, and water. To prove the watch's durability to the world, Rolex conducted a highly publicized stunt where Mercedes Glitz wore the Rolex Oyster while crossing the English Channel. The watch remained in perfect working condition even after multiple hours of the swimming session, thus solidifying Rolex's reputation for quality and durability. Hans also made sure that the most popular people wore a Rolex. For example, the first time Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay climbed the Mount Everest, they wore a Rolex watch. Similarly, Malcolm Campbell wore a Rolex when he had set the land speed record in Utah. It was these brilliant measures and the company's innovative designs that led to the rapid popularity of Rolex. Now, Hans had no children, and he had to think about the future of the company. As a result, in 1946, he founded the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation and gave his 100% stake of Rolex to the foundation. As the company is a part of this foundation even today, there are no taxes on its profits. Also, it donates majority of its profits towards charity. Though some people believe that this is just a plan to keep the company's transactions hidden. Let's keep this topic for a different video. Finally, in 1960, Hans Wilsdorf passed away and the company's successors continued its legacy. Now the most important question, why are Rolex watches so expensive? The entry-level cost of a Rolex watch is about $7,000. Even the most expensive Rolex ever sold, the Paul Newman's Daytona, was sold for a whopping $17.7 million. So why are people spending so much money behind just a watch when there are similar watches in the market at a much cheaper price? One unavoidable reason is obviously the quality. Rolex are made up of high-grade materials like gold, platinum, and even diamonds. Every watch is assembled by hand to ensure the utmost precision. Then they are passed through multiple rigorous testing to ensure the quality. They are waterproof and they have a high durability, and as a result, they last for multiple years without any damage. But still, 7 grand just for expensive materials and a high durability? Even a report released by a watchmaker revealed that a Rolex watch that cost about $7,000 requires only $700 to manufacture it. Keeping aside the fact that Rolex watches invest heavily into new technologies and researches for their new watches. Well, when somebody buys a Rolex, he not only buys a watch, he buys a status symbol. All thanks to Rolex's brilliant marketing tactics from the very beginning, associating Rolex with success. Rolex are worn by celebrities, athletes, politicians, businessmen, and multiple other important people. Rolex is a universal symbol of wealth and luxury. Rolex also sponsors various important events like Formula 1 and multiple tennis and golf matches. They even pay popular celebrities to wear the watches to keep the value and prestige of the company in the market. Also, they sell their watches only through authorized dealers. There is almost no sale or discount on their products. It is even reported that Rolex repurchases their old stocks from the stores so that they are not sold at a cheaper price. Selling at a discounted price would affect their brand image, and they don't want their products to seem too accessible. It is even said that although having a huge demand in the market, Rolex manufactures only limited watches every year. This is done to keep the hype and demand in the market. That's the reason why if you wanted to buy a Rolex, regardless of who you are, you would have a minimum waiting period of a year or more. Since it is so hard to actually own a Rolex, its value hardly depreciates. It is like an investment whose value increases with time. So you could buy a Rolex and sell it after 5 years at a much higher price. That's the reason why rich people love to own such luxury watches. Well, if you believe it to be a waste of money and a liability, it is actually a very good asset. So we have come to the end of this video. I hope this video was valuable to you. If you found this interesting, please do give it a like, because such kind of videos take up a ton of time and effort into scripting and editing, and your like would make up for all of it. If you are new here, then please consider subscribing this channel, because we keep uploading such informative videos. Meet you in the next video. Until next time, it's me Ali Abbas signing off.